All of the best movies are full of plot twists and turns, and now that movie theaters are opened up again, fans can't wait to get back. We all love a good plot twist, and I'm sure we all have some favorites that come to mind. Today, we're going to take a closer look at the very best plot twists in movie history, ranked. Number 9. Let's start with a recent one, Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph is a kids movie. You might say, no plot twists here, right? Well, wrong. The ruling monarch of Sugar Rush, King Candy, is definitely up to something, and for most of the movie you just think he's protecting his sugar-coated seat on the throne. However, by the end of the movie, you learn that he isn't actually a king at all, but a victory-mad character from another arcade game that snuck into Sugar Rush illegally, and actually hacked his way into modifying the memories of the residents there. It comes totally out of the left field at the end, and once you know what's up, the shifty behavior when you meet him all seems to make sense. Number 8. The next one on our list is a little underrated, Secret Window. Obviously, being based off of a Stephen King novella, it's bound to have some twists and turns in it. You believe for the whole movie that Johnny Depp's character, Mort, is being followed around by a dubious man named John Shooter. However, in a shocking twist, we find out that John Shooter is nothing more than a character in Mort's book that he wrote, and the trauma of his wife having an affair has made him imagine things. John Shooter is just a part of Mort's personality, and we see that he changes the ending of Mort's book. It is heavily implied that he murders his wife and her lover, and they're buried in the backyard. This movie definitely doesn't get the attention it deserves. Next, let's go to Spooky Town. Have you ever seen The Boy? If so, I'm sure you didn't see that ending coming. I certainly didn't. I spent the entire movie hiding behind my popcorn, being creeped out by ghosts, only to have it be the couple's grown son the whole time. I mean, seriously, the way the creators of The Boy did this is super clever. It was marketed as a supernatural horror film, teasing scenes with ghostly sounds and paranormal jump scares, which the film certainly delivered on. I was terrified, but the grown adult, a very human man, bursts out from the walls behind which he has been living this entire time. I was shocked. No ghosts at all, and nobody saw it coming. Number 6. While we're on an eerie topic, we have got to talk about The Others. Going back to 2001, The Others shocked cinema audiences everywhere with its truly unexpected twist. Nicole Kidman shines in the lead role, playing a mother who's trying to protect her 2 children from the spirits that haunt her large home. As the sinister events increase, we see that the visions she is seeing are actually of living people in the modern day, and it is she and her children who are the ghosts. The spooky occurrences in the house have been the family who currently live there all along, and a present-day medium who has been trying to contact them. It won several awards, and is known as one of the best horror movie plot twists to this day. Number 5. For the next one, we're going all the way back to the era of black and white filming for Psycho. Obviously, this is known as one of the greatest cinematic breakthroughs of all time, as it included lots of things not seen in a movie before. For example, it was extremely uncommon to see a woman in the shower or in her underwear, and it was the first instance of a toilet being flushed on screen, which at the time was scandalous. The monumental twist at the end of the movie was not that Norman Bates was the killer, as we could figure out that easily, but that his mother, who constantly watched from her window, was actually dead. Norman suffered from a split personality disorder in which he believed he was his psychotic mother, and dressed as her to commit horrible acts. When he wasn't disassociating as her, he kept her corpse propped up and cared for her in her bedroom. The movie itself and the shocking twist was revolutionary for the time, and has since spawned a myriad of split personality plot twists that still continue to surprise audiences in movies all around the world. Number 4. On a lighter note, let's take a look at another Disney offering, Frozen. Frozen is definitely one of the most loved Disney movies of recent years. It's been watched in theaters millions of times, and everyone knows the words to Let It Go. But how much did you see the big twist coming? Hans is obviously portrayed all the way through the movie as being a good guy. He literally falls head over heels for Anna. He hands out blankets to the cold people of Arendelle, and he saves Elsa from getting skewered by one of his guards. Not only that, but he was on all the promo posters and commercials that Disney put out alongside the good guys. So nobody, and I mean nobody, saw it coming when he refused to give Anna a true love's kiss, letting her freeze instead. The first time I saw Frozen in the cinema, and I saw it multiple times, the whole audience audibly gasped when Hans's true motives were revealed. There hasn't been many times I've had that experience, and I know I wasn't the only one. Number 3. Staying on on track with the super famous movies, we're looking next at Fight Club. Fight Club came out in 1999 and blew everyone's minds. The pretext is weird enough as it is. The unnamed narrator meeting Tyler Durden on a flight, and the two start a fight club, an illegal group where people turn up to beat the living daylights out of one another in an attempt to relieve stress, make a lifestyle statement. Either way, it got huge fast. The narrator was otherwise a pretty ordinary, mild-mannered dude, and Tyler was the polar opposite. He was reckless, wild, he loved to party, and constantly surprised both the narrator and everyone watching. But perhaps the biggest surprise of all came at the end of the movie, when it turned out that the narrator and Tyler Durden were the same person. We saw flashbacks of the narrator talking to Tyler on the plane, when in reality he was just talking to an empty seat next to him. The camera cut to the famous initiation fight in the parking lot with a crowd watching, and he was beating himself up. While it explains why the Fight Club was so heavily noticed by the underground fight scene, as a guy bloodying himself is extremely unusual and seemed like a huge statement, it adds to the overall weirdness of the movie, whilst at the same time explaining a lot of things that were a bit hard to understand before you knew. It definitely is one of the most famous twists of all time and deserves a space in our top 3. Number 2. Turning back the clocks again to 1984, Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Let's get one thing straight. The Star Wars movies are some of the most famous movies of all time, period. There's absolutely no question about this. They are cemented firmly as one of the most celebrated and well-known movie series ever, and they have spawned millions of fans all over the world. One of the giant reasons for the success of The Empire Strikes Back, which was the second Star Wars movie to be released, was the massive twist at the end that nobody saw coming. The tension is building between the rebellion and the Empire, and the young Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker is preparing to face Darth Vader. The epic showdown finally happens aboard the Death Star, and the two legendary warriors clash. Lightsabers flash, and Luke falls from his ledge, seriously injured by Vader. He screams, "You killed my father," to which Darth Vader speaks one of the most famous lines in movie history, "Luke, I am your father." This scene has been parodied countless times, and everyone knows this twist by now, but at the time, it was so unexpected it was revolutionary. Number 1. There's only one that can be at the top, and it's got to go to Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense is arguably the most famous offering from famed twisty director M. Night Shyamalan. Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment deliver exceptional performances, the former as a celebrated psychologist and the latter as a troubled young patient. It is the origin of the famous line, "I see dead people." However, that memorable line isn't the only thing that makes this movie famous. The creepy, eerie vibe throughout the whole thing is enough to keep you on the edge of your seat, and it is seriously well done. It is not surprising that this movie is one of M. Night Shyamalan's most praised works ever. The real beauty comes from the ending, when Malcolm, played by Bruce Willis, realizes that his wife hasn't been distancing herself from him. She's grieving because he has died, and the reason he has grown so close to his young patient is because, after all, he can see dead people. The first time you watch this movie, if you don't know the twist is coming, it hits you like a punch in the gut, and the following times you watch it, all the little hints and clues of foreshadowing included along the way make it feel amazing for you to nod along with. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.